Welcome everyone to this meeting of the Annual Council on Friday 16th of May 2025. I ask you to remain standing while my chaplain says a prayer.
Thank you, Madam. As I'm sure you're all aware, it is Mental Health Awareness Week across the world. So it won't surprise you to hear that this is the focus for prayers this evening. What might surprise is that mental health has been something that's been needed and been addressed since the very beginning of human existence. How do you know that, I hear you think? Well, in the Christian creation story, as told in Genesis, the first book of the Bible, in the middle of the design phase, and whilst everything was considered to be good or even very good, an immortal line is uttered. It is not good for man to be alone. Companionship, friendship, relationship with each other as family, team, tribe, community is vital to all of our well-being. So let's pray. Almighty God, you recognized immediately that it was not good for any of us to be alone as individual human beings. Give us the courage to open up and form meaningful connections with others that not only support our well-being, but also our sense of value and worth. Strengthen our sense of belonging and help us to ensure others, especially those most different to us, also know that opportunity to belong. May this borough be known for its cohesion and the strength of our community spirit, and may each of us intentionally work to build bridges so that all may come to know that sense of community and that sense of belonging. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. I invite the Chief Executive to give any apologies.
Thank you, Mayor. Apologies have been received from Councillors Beach, Peters, George, Bullock, Mansfield, Huckabee and Michael Slater. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any declarations of interest? No? Good. I'd like to move to the minutes of the previous meeting held on 17th of March 2025. I propose approval of the minutes. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Fletcher. Can we move to the vote? All in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? That's carried. Thank you. Item number 4 is announcements from the Mayor. We'd just like to say at this point, congratulations to Councillor Beach and Alan on the recent birth of their baby, who I believe is called Hester. Well done. So we move to item 5, which is appointment of committees. I invite James Abbott, Corporate and Commercial Manager, to present the report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening to everybody. So this is the Appointments and Committees report, which provides an update on the Council's membership with the purpose of confirming the appointments to the various committees, of course reflecting the Council's overall political makeup. The supporting detail is set out in the normal way in the document circulated, and it's probably worth just mentioning that the proportionality, of course, hasn't changed since the previous report, but the nominations to sit on each of the Council's committees are all included in the attached Appendix 1, as provided by the 2 group leaders. So this leads us to just 2 recommendations to be proposed this evening. Firstly, that the Council agrees to the number and allocation of councillors serving on each committee and panel, as set out in paragraph 5.4 of the report. And secondly, that subject to the previous recommendation, The Council approves the appointment of councillors to serve on each committee and panel, including appointing the ungrouped independent member to the residual seats on the planning and licensing committees. And with that, I shall pass back to you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Can I have a proposer for this report? Thank you, Councillor Fitzpatrick, and a seconder. Councillor Chowdhury. Thank you. Does anybody want to speak on this item? No? Thank you. In which case, we'll move to the vote. Can we have all in favour, please? Any against? Any abstentions? I think that's unanimous. Thank you. Item 6, appointment of chairman to the committees. I invite the leader of the council to speak on this matter and propose the appointment of the chairman of each committee in turn. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members, guests and honorary aldermen. Item 6 is to appoint chairman of each of the following committees. Just for clarity, there are no changes from last year, but I will go through the process of naming them just so that that it's transparent and everyone's aware. So I'm moving all of these on block. Appeals panel, Councillor Paul Walker. Audit Committee, Councillor Aaron Mansfield. Audit Committee Statement of Accounts, Councillor Aaron Mansfield. Chief Officer Standards Committee, myself, Councillor Michael Fitzpatrick. Complaints Panel, Councillor Simon Slater. Development Plan Committee, yourself, Madam Mayor, Councillor Sheila McKiernan. Planning Committee, Councillor Arshad Afsar. Licensing Committee, Councillor Saeed Hussain. Scrutiny Committees, Climate Change and Environment, Councillor Michael Slater. Scrutiny Health and Wellbeing, Councillor Tom Hadley. Scrutiny Regeneration Development Market Hall Committee, Councillor Kim Smith. Scrutiny Value for Money Committee, Councillor Juslav Krupski. Standards Committee, Councillor Louise Walker. I propose them all on block to council.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Fletcher. Thank you. Can we go to the vote, please? So all in favour? No, that's also unanimous. Thank you. Item 7, appointment of the member to serve on the Health and Care Overview and Scrutiny Committee on the Staffordshire County Council. Again, I invite the leader to propose the appointment.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As last year, no change to this panel that you read out. Councillor Alison Legg will take up this place. I ask Council to approve that.
Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Fletcher, thank you. We go to the vote. All in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? No, thank you. That's also unanimous. Item 8, appointment of the member to serve on the Staffordshire Police, Fire and Crime Panel. Leader, would you please propose someone?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As the panel, as you've read out, no change again. The member who served last year will serve again, Councillor Juslav Krupski. I move that. I ask Council to approve.
And is there a seconder, please? Councillor Hadley, thank you. We move to the vote. All in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? No. Once again, unanimous. Thank you very much for doing that. Item 9, urgent decision record, revisions to the Local Housing Fund 3. I invite the leader to present this item, which is to be noted.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Once again, it seems government offers an opportunity for funding, but don't give us time to make that process in a timely matter. So the EDR 319.25 was taken in consultation with the head of service and the cabinet members, Simon Slater. I've had to approve, along with yourself, Mayor, and the Chair of Scrutiny, the urgency provision to allow this to happen. It's the revision to the Local Authority Money Fund 3 extra money come from government. We were asked if we could provide it, as we have a delivery partner that is achieving results, and we were happy to do that. I asked council to note that report.
Thank you. Okay, we move to item 10, the council meeting dates for 25-26. Again, I invite the leader to propose the dates.
I nearly forgot that one, Madam Mayor. As is customary, I ask and propose to this council that the following date, the dates listed at item 10, be the next meetings of this council for the 25-26 municipal year. I move those dates.
Okay, could you just read them out for everybody?
I certainly
Sorry,
can,
for
Madam
the
Mayor.
guests.
7th of July 2025, 22nd of September 2025, 8th of December 2025, 16th of February 2026, 16th of March 2026, and the annual council meeting 15th of May 2026. And that obviously will start, like this one, at 6 p.m. I so move those.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Chowdhury. Can we move to the vote, please? All in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? No, thank you. That's carried. Item 11, there is no urgent business. Item 12, there are no questions being received. So we can move on to the good bit of the meeting, the election of the 33rd Mayor of the Borough of East Staffordshire. Can I please have a proposer for Councillor Kim Smith, BEM, to be elected the 33rd Mayor of the Borough? Thank you, Councillor Fletcher. And a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Shrive. Does anybody want to speak on this item? Councillor Fletcher.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, Honourable Alderman, officers and members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, it's with some pride and a great deal of pleasure that I nominate my friend and fellow councillor for Winshill, Kim Smith, to be the 33rd Mayor of the Borough of East Staffordshire for the period ending with the 34th annual meeting of the council in May 2026. The fact that she's my friend, the fact that she's my fellow councillor, they're not the reasons I nominate her, although many people might consider those reasons enough. No, I nominate her because I know she's the ideal person to take up this position. She has all the attributes which will ensure that she fulfills her duties efficiently and with dignity. Humility, calm, grace, and quiet confidence. Kim is a people person. She likes people, and they like her. She can relate well to everyone, whatever their background, whatever their race or religion, whatever their country of origin, and whatever their politics. She will deal with everyone, including us councillors, fairly. Kim will never be high and mighty. There'll be no, don't you know who I am from her. With Kim, what you see is what you get. A kind, friendly person who will always welcome you with a smile, will always be concerned for your welfare, will always show an interest in who you are and what you do. She has demonstrated all of this in her work as the manager of the Winshill Neighbourhood Resource Centre, where she set the bar high for other areas to follow on how to support people who are lonely, people facing food and energy insecurity, in fact anyone with a need. And the fact that she has the support of so many volunteers at the centre is a testimony to her ability to recruit and bring other people on board on essential projects. I remind you that all of this was recognised a few years ago when she was awarded the British Empire Medal. When I think of Kim, I'm reminded of Kipling's words. If you can talk with crowds yet keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch. if all men count with you, but none too much. All people do count with Kim, and she has the common touch. Like all of us, thank goodness, she's not perfect. With all the attributes I've described, perfection would probably make her insufferable, and that she certainly is not. She does occasionally make mistakes, like all of us. She does get things wrong, but when she does, she owns up and makes every effort to put it right. I'll finish as I started. Kim Smith will make an ideal mayor of the Borough of East Staffordshire. I recommend her to you and move her nomination.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to say anything before we go to the vote? Thank you. Councillor Walker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Officers, aldermen, members of the public. It is a pleasure to join colleagues in supporting Councillor Kim Smith to be the next Mayor of East Staffordshire. At a time when there is so much division and dangerous language within society and politics, Councillor Kim Smith's selfishness, dedication to the community is a shining vision of open dark times. No matter who they are or from whatever background they come from, Councillor Smith shows day in, day out why we are not and never will be a borough of strangers. Her help and support she has given to residents of this town, regardless of race, religion and nationality, shows that we are a community of friends bound together by facing the same struggles for fair pay, better jobs and put food on the table and a world that lives in peace. As we face an uncertain future, I'm confident that Councillor Smith and the incoming Deputy Mayor, Councillor Alton, will use their existing track records of being strong community advocates to build on the work of the previous mayors over the last 2 years and continue to be a unifying voice for our town, and will make sure that this council remains an open and welcoming place to every community without prejudice.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Saeed Hussain.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I am delighted to stand here today to offer my heartfelt congratulations to Councillor Kim Smith on her appointment as our new mayor. Kim has long been a dedicated and inspiring person in the community. Her compassion, determinations, and unwavering commitment to public service have earned her the respect and admiration of so many. She commands so much respect in our town and beyond our town. Today, as she takes on the role of mayor, we celebrate not only her achievements, but also the visions and values she brings with her. I would also like to extend my warm congratulations to James, who will be supporting Madam Mayor, new Madam Mayor, as her consort. I can see a chain in there. And together they can make a remarkable team ready to serve, represent, and uplift our community. We are confident that under her leadership, we will continue to grow stronger, more united, and ever more proud of the place we call home. Congratulations, Kim. We wish you and James every success in the year ahead. In fact, your family will be so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Any more speakers? Thank you. In that case, I think we can move to the vote. All in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? No. That's unanimous again. Thank you very much. I think that deserves a round of applause. Well done. And I'd just like to add my thanks to Kim for being an excellent deputy, and she's done her best to fill in whenever I couldn't. Thank you. So, item 14 the appointment of the Deputy Mayor for the ensuing year. Could I please have a proposer for Councillor Monica Holton to be appointed the Deputy Mayor? Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Louise Walker. And a seconder, Councillor Tom Hadley. Would anyone like to speak in favour? Thank you. Councillor Louise Walker.
I have pleasure in proposing my fellow councillor, Monica Holton, for the Deputy Mayor. Councillor Holton will be a tremendous support for the newly elected Mayor Kim, and I look forward to the two strong women representing our multicultural borough over the next 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. I think we can move straight to the vote then. All in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? No? Once again, that's unanimous. I think that bodes very well for going forward as a council. I confirm that Councillor Monica Holton has been appointed Deputy Mayor for the ensuing year. There will now be a short adjournment whilst the new Mayor, the Mayor's Consort, the Deputy Mayor and Deputy Mayor's Consort, myself and husband leave the chamber to disrobe and newly robe. The newly elected Mayor will then take over the chair for the remainder of the meeting. Thank you. Please stand.
Please be seated. The Deputy Mayor and I will now sign the Declaration of Acceptance of Office book, which will be witnessed by the Chief Executive. Sorry, I'm just going to pop back now to do my acceptance speech. Honorary Aldermen, officers, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow councillors, I feel truly honoured to stand here as the Mayor of East Staffordshire. I'd just like to say thank you to those who spoke for me. It was very overwhelming. I almost went, but I didn't. So thank you so much for your kind words. It really means a lot. I'll introduce those who are going to come on this amazing journey with me. So there's my consort, Mr. Hewitt James, who we call James, he likes that. My chaplain, the Reverend Terry Williams. My cadet, Empis Abbott, from the 3-5 Squadron of the Royal Air Force Air Cadets. She's sitting over there. I'm going to say a little bit about myself, because obviously I haven't been a councillor very long, and some of you might not actually know me very well. I was born in Winshill. I'm a Winshill girl. I've lived and worked in Winshill almost all my life. I've worked at the local shop for 17 years and worked for the youth service in the evenings. I harassed the East Staffordshire Borough Council once to give me 2 shop units when the youth clubs closed down. And I did get them, and I ran volunteer-led while I worked at the shop and on the youth bus, and I was on the youth bus and worked at the youth service before it closed down. And so we ran our own, with my sister who's over there, a community cafe and advice centre for the people of Winshill, mainly the young people. We raised a lot of money over 10 years. We took the kids everywhere. We had Clinic in a Box that came in then. We had the police came in, and I think Councillor Holmes was one of those who came in with his little box at one time to talk to the young people. We raised hundreds of pounds for the community. But after 10 years, we all sort of felt it's time to go and get a proper job, really. And funding was difficult to get. We were trying so hard, but we were supported by a lot of the councillors at that time. I know Janet Dean was one of them, Councillor Anne White, Michael White as well, and the local parish council. This is where my passion for the community really started. I was an avid letter writer to the Burton Mail. I was always writing a letter because I wanted to put the world to rights at that time, but never really got there. So as the Mayor, I'd love for our communities to come together. We all sit in our own community, do a little fun day, or we do a little afternoon tea for the elderly. We need to come together, a multicultural town like Burton, and embrace each other's culture, enjoy each other's food and learn about each other, whether it be through a food festival, a cricket match, a football match, just so we can be together in one place. Dennis mentioned that I run the Winshill Neighbourhood Resource Centre, and our motto there is, we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And I believe we should work in, and this would be beneficial to all. Also, I would like to embrace and show what amazing talent we have in Burton and celebrate their achievements. We have some amazing boxers, singers, TV stars, magicians, footballers, a Burton concert band that I didn't know has been going for 30 years, and I'd never even heard of them. And I think that's shame that we don't celebrate things like that within Burton. We need to showcase our stars and encourage them and support them. And I nearly forgot, my own son, Lewis, over here, is an actual world champion natural bodybuilder. I shout about it, but Burton, we don't. And I think we should celebrate people like my son. And not only am I proud of him, but I'm proud of the fact he comes from Burton. And I did say to him when he did his competition, don't tell him you live in Statenhall, tell him you're from Winshill. You're a Winshill boy. I'd also like to celebrate our small businesses. We've got lots of small businesses in the town. If you went into town, could you name all the small businesses that you go in and you support them? I think as a town, I love Burton. I love the Market Hall, I love the Marketplace, heritage of Burton. I was what you'd call one of the Bass babies. You know, my granddad worked for Bass, my dad worked for Bass, my mum worked for Bass, and we did everything that was Bass connected. And, you know, fun days they had, and I think we lost that sort of community side of the town when Bass moved on. So small businesses, including pubs, we had streets full of pubs at the time, and people used to come to Burton and just go down all the pubs and the Horninglow Mile and everything. We need to bring that back into Burton, not small pubs, but that spirit that people want to Burton. So small businesses, I would really like to support them and hope that we all, as councillors and people who work within Burton, shop local still. Giving businesses a chance to show what they do, what they sell, and promote them with the local community. Now, charities. Charities has been really hard for me to choose just a couple of charities. In fact, I've chosen 3. There are so many small charities who work tirelessly within the area that do some tremendous work, working hard at times. They forget to promote themselves on social media or posters or whatever, or show the fantastic work they do. So it has been difficult for me to choose a charity this year. But what I would like to say is, you know, I'm happy to help any charity, small, large, or whatever, with their fundraising efforts to get the money in to keep doing what they do. But I have narrowed it down to 3 charities that I will raise funds for. One of them is the Farm Fresh Revolution. I don't know whether you've all heard of it. It was set up by Rob and Sally Mercer, who run Packington Farm. They work within 9 schools and Winshill Resource Centre. They came to us, they worked in the school in Winshill, but during COVID, they weren't allowed to go into schools. So we ran it from the resource centre. Each school has 70 families that they can give fresh fruit and veg to. This includes chicken, sausage, carrots, potatoes, seasonal veg, eggs, onions, apples, oranges, at a cost of just £3. During the COVID, they came every week to the centre, and we managed to give out 1,000 food packages to people in Winshill and Burton and the surrounding areas. So I'd like them to be a charity. They're only a small charity, and obviously with the cost of living, the cost has got so high for fresh fruit and veg. Their main aim is to get families to cook from fresh again, get the children to eat fresh produce, eat fruit and veg. So, you know, they're one of my charities that I really feel passionate about. The next charity is the Snowdrop Suite at the hospital. My friend's daughter runs this. My friend died from lung cancer within 5 weeks. So this is kind of a nod to her, that I'll be supporting her daughter and the work that she does. The Snowdrop Suite was opened in 2004 and is a dedicated space created for families experiencing the tragedy of baby loss, located away from the delivery suite at the Queen's Hospital. It gives parents a private environment to receive the ongoing care they need. It has an ensuite and a cold cuddle cot, a pull-out chair bed for the partners. Parents can spend precious time with their baby to create lasting memories and say goodbye in their own time. And the last one, where my children's grandmother passed away, is St Giles Hospice, who provide end-of-life care as well as other things. Something we don't want to think about, but it could be one of us at one time. I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer about 20 years ago, and the doctor said to me, what do you know about ovarian cancer, Kim? And I said, the only thing I know is that it's a silent killer. How long have I got? But to be honest, I was one of the very lucky ones. I'm still here today to tell you. So I'm a survivor. So for them to do this work and to take care of those people who need that care, I've chosen them as one of my charities. The families do a lot of fundraising to support St Giles Hospice. They only get 18% of their funds from the government, I believe. So fundraising is what they need at St Giles, and I know that they're really struggling at the minute, but it does give. St Giles is to their loved ones and the most difficult time in a family's life, and they care and support not only the person who's ill, but the families and the children of those people that are suffering at that time. And thank you. And I'd like to thank Sheila and John for all their support. I've had the Deputy Mayor as well. Thank you. And I'd now like to ask my cadet, Emphis, to come to the stand for a presentation. And Emphis, by the way, she told me that it means heaven. So I'm really happy about that. A vote of thanks to the past Mayor and the past Mayor's consort. I invite Councillor Paul Walker to propose the motion and item 15 on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Aldermen, officers, ladies and gentlemen, that we, the Council, record a sincere appreciation of the excellent manner in which Councillor Sheila McKinnon has carried out her duties as the Mayor of the Borough of East Staffordshire over the last year, and we acknowledge the interest she has shown in the welfare of all parts of the borough. So we place on record our thanks to her representing the council at approximately 158 events during her year in office, and we also thank the Mayor's consort, Mr John McKiernan, for the help and the support he has so readily given her during a year in office.
Thank you, Councillor Walker. Could I please have a seconder? Councillor Clark, thank you. Are there any councillors who would like to speak on the motion? No? Okay. Oh, sorry. Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. just like to echo the words of the motion and put on thanks from kind of this side of the chamber as well. The thanks to Sheila McKeenan for all the work that she's done over the past 12 months, representing the borough, not just within this chamber, but in terms of the events and everything that was attended as well. I think a special note should go in terms of how the manner in which she's chaired debates within this chamber. It's not always an easy job, particularly at times when it can get quite heated, such as budget discussions and so on. But I think she always carried out herself with grace and decorum. I was always particularly appreciative of her balanced view that she would take in terms of the decisions made, not just within this chamber, but also when trying to raise urgent matters as well, in her consideration for those. So I was always very much appreciative of those and the time that she put into that. So I'd like to extend my thanks to Councillor McKeenan as well on that matter.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As one of the past mayors of the borough, I'd like to welcome Sheila to the past mayors club, of which myself, Simon and Colin are members. You did a very good job as mayor. It isn't easy. The year goes very quick, doesn't it? But have a good time. And can I congratulate you as well, Madam Mayor, on becoming mayor. Have a great time. It's very busy, but you'll love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hudson. Right. Anyone else would like to speak? No? We'll go to the vote then. So all those in favour? Anyone against? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Let's confirm the motion. I now invite Councillor Sheila McKeenan and Mr John McKeenan to receive their past mayor and past mayor's consort badges. Now we invite Sheila McKeenan, Councillor Sheila McKeenan, to do your vote of thanks and present your cadet.
Good evening, everyone. Madam Mayor, Honorary Aldermen, members and officers of the Council, ladies and gentlemen. I'd just like to thank all my fellow councillors for electing me to be the mayor this past year. What an honour and a privilege it's been. I'd like to thank my civic team who have supported me throughout, literally when I broke my hip in January. It's been a bit of a hard journey since then. So one by one, thanks to Gary, my mace bearer, Andy, who stepped in as necessary, as well as supporting insignias and driving, Gabriel, Mikey, and occasional drivers, Gordon and Anne. I want to say a special thanks to Anne for her historical and protocol advice and for her catering and general support. And thank you to Cheryl, who took over partway through the year as my PA and has done a magnificent job, as well as running the Town Hall function suite. Thanks to Daniel, who stepped in for Cheryl a couple of months ago, and to John Teasdale, both for his support as monitoring officer regarding council meetings and for managing the mayoral budget. I call him Dr. No, as he always says there's no money whenever I ask for any. I'd also like to thank my chaplain, Phil Pusey, MBE, who's not only been a spiritual advisor, but a career coach when I decided to leave Burton Albion earlier this year, and emotional support. Thank you very much. I've approached being the mayor as a public service, and I've done my best to accept all the invitations I've received. I've tried to get around the borough as much as I can, I've also represented the borough as first citizen in other boroughs across Staffordshire and further afield at military, civic and even royal events. I couldn't have done any of this without the unwavering support of my husband and consort, John. We've enjoyed a very busy and varied life over the past 12 months and are both looking forward to a rest. John is looking forward to getting his diary back and not having his pockets full of lipstick, tissues and raffle money on my behalf. Of course, like the Queen, I don't carry a handbag. Been asking me about the highlights, and there have been many. The civic ceremonies for other mayors with their pomp and ceremony, especially Lichfield in the ancient Guildhall. The children at the summer fetes, especially Shobnall Fields and Stapenhill in August. And in December, we were out every day and evening at the many Christmas carol services, culminated with our local schools and Tutbury Band performing at the Town Hall. And in the last week, we accepted, I think it was 8 invitations to celebrate VE Day with several parish events, including Barton under Needwood, where we met Mr. Winston Churchill. That was a good afternoon. And then we had Tutbury Proms Night at the church, followed by pipers up to Tutbury Castle, where the beacon was lit, and the crowd sang, "I vow to thee, my country," as the sun set. I'll never forget that. It was beautiful. I've met the Lord Lieutenant, the High Sheriff, and the King, standing together with the MP in the pouring rain on Burton Station. We greeted His Royal Highness King Charles when he alighted from the royal train to visit Burton. Even though the weather wasn't kind and was not shown on the TV that evening, they showed them all at the Tower Brewery, but not us getting soaked. A magical evening was had at Tutbury Castle again for the retirement of Leslie Smith. She made it come alive with her historically accurate portrayals. The castle was lit up in rainbow colours as the sun set again, and we could see for miles over Staffordshire and Derbyshire. And when she performed in this very chamber as Florence Nightingale, it really made people's spine tingle. We've also enjoyed several evenings at the Brew House, and we're lucky to have such a variety of entertainment companies. My aim during my mayoral year was to highlight the voluntary sector, and especially my chosen charity, SARAC. Sadly, my fundraising activities were limited due to the injury I had and a long recovery, but I've done my best to highlight their work and that of other Burton-based voluntary organisations. For instance, Harvey Girls, Burton Albion Community Trust, Support Staffordshire, the Back O'Connor Trust, East Staffordshire Diabetes Network, Burton Pride, Burton Unity, all the local churches and sports organisations, and others too many to mention. And there will be a presentation to SARAC later this year. One of the unique things I'm proud of was to invite an internationally renowned artist, Alison Lapper, to visit Burton, to meet the local artists and learn about the history of her birthplace. And thanks to Chris Beach at Burton College and Tracy Parr at the Brew House, she was able to meet students, have a tour around the Washlands with Jim and Blue from Burton History Tours, and even, thanks to Councillor Louise Walker in some part, to meet some of the nurses who looked after her as a newborn before she was taken away to East Sussex. She's been back a second time to work with Burton and South Derbyshire College students and to speak at the second International Women's Day event organised by SARAC, and I hope we can make a continuing relationship with such an important artist. I've learned so much about the community over the past year, not least about making connections between groups and how important it is to work together, as echoed by Kim. It was my privilege to invite the Burton Caribbean Association to the Town Hall to present the community with a plaque to commemorate the Windrush generation. I was then invited to speak at the first Burton Caribbean Carnival at Shobnall Fields. I was pleased to chair the council meeting when the suffering of Afghan community people in Burton was acknowledged, and to invite them back for an insignia here, an evening we all enjoyed. We will continue to work with the community as they develop their community centre in Moore Street. I was pleased to support the efforts of Elaine Pritchard and again Councillor Walker to bring the Vale Rawlings story back to life and to a wider audience. What a fantastic night at our historic town hall, and how good it is to have a room now named after him. I've also made deeper links with the Sea Cadets in Burton, attending their awards night and learning how to give back to the community by helping at Riverside Care Home. I want to wish good luck to the new Mayor, Kim Smith, and her Deputy, Councillor Monica Holton. With a total of 5 different PAs, 4 of them quite inexperienced, I've had to learn largely as I went along this year. But I want to say it to you, do it your way. And I hope you really enjoy your year. Thank you all once again for the opportunity you've given me. I hope I've done East Staffordshire proud. And finally, I'd like to thank my cadet, able cadet Felix Scully Crane. He's been outstanding in his duties for one so young. He was only 14 when appointed. I have to say he's very poised and professional at all times, and he's raised the flag on my behalf at every flag raising over the last year. Never missed a day, even though he's got important work at school and's been on national training events. He's a credit to his unit and will clearly go far in whatever career he chooses. So would you like to come forward and receive a gift? Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you for everyone who's come, and obviously there is food in the Mayor's dining room if you'd like to join us.